This next poem is short and sweet. I like to think I'm short and sweet, but I think I'm just short. I love you. I believe in loving you. You see me. You see right through me. Along the lake, the lights of you. A line the land with stripes of me. I light the stick with lights of truth. Assign the lights with times of noon. Pop the bottle, look the moon in the eye. Mold the marble, shoot the breeze into the sky. In the twilight of earth's light, we'll love, love, love as if it's a fight. In the twilight of earth's light, we'll fuck, fuck, fuck with all our might. In the twilight of earth's light. It is totally necessary for me to take a sip of beer between. This one's called On the Run. I thought I was different. See the forest for the trees? But now I'm just evidence of the persistence of patriarchy. No one cares whether I live or die, least of all myself. I'm not one lost son on the run from himself. Move like the ocean, move like you're free. Move like the ocean, move just like the sea. I thought you were different. I thought you might have loved me. But now you're just evidence of the existence of hypergamy. No one cares whether she's safe or sound, least of all herself. She's that calm, lost man on the lam from herself. Move like the ocean, move like you're free. Move like the ocean as you move away from me. If it's a crime to love, hand on fist, then you can call us domestic terrorists. If Jerry Adams was never officially in the IRA, then you can never accuse us of being gay. For we aren't the true bearers of the Baron. We're just the lost souls running amok through the wreck of the damn ruin. Like double-eyed duping devils, we have gone far long on the run from ourselves.
Seán, crockery rockery, please.
Oh, after this one, I gotta do these ones. I have to get them right there. I the flower, humble and fair. I the flower, beautiful and free in air. I've stood up to beasts, while bigger, stronger acts stayed set, but I have submitted to gas, while cowards mutinied as a pact. Controlled power, I am in fact who you think you are, but with the delicacy of I the flower. I the flower, no one but rare. I the flower, cut, stolen, and laying bare. I've feared insects like a scared pup or a caught cat, but I have killed evils, just so I could tell you that. No matter they are, I am in fact the man you think you are. With the delicacy of I the flyer. This one's called Door of Fire. Like the doors of perception, through the mires of ire, I'm pining open your big red door of fire. Like the lures of inception, called from the choir, I call upon to open your big red door of fire. Light the candles under the mantle's bark, chase the dark straight out of my heart. Turn the handles at an angled arc, make your mark, blow the doors of fire apart. Like the hands of creation, or the final funeral pyre, I'm positioned to open your big red door of fire. Like the emission of attrition, or moments of dire, I commission to open your big red door of fire. Let's light the handles under the mantle's bark. Let me chase the dark straight out of your heart. Turn the handles at an angled arc, make a mark, let's blow the doors of fire apart. This next poem is about relationships and such. It's called Happy as Larry. Ripping moss off the rocks in my sneakers and socks. Getting lost, trying to cross the road of lots and lots of cars. To get over get lost as I flee from bandit pundits of funded arts. The punts divide their hunts like the cunts that they are. Because I bet Miss Girl Boss 20 balls of titty sauce at Hoss the boss will take a loss during the offensive toss, or I'll demoss the local chapel cross. So, Miss Magdalene, Madame Mary, what'd you say we get marry and marry? And if I keep you happy, maybe you keep me happy. Happy as Larry. Let me come clean, Miss Mary Magdalene. I could do with a little bit more of something. Mocking mops, copying cops, cropping crap snaps of crops, getting wasted, turned around, copied and pasted, burned, bummed out and twisted. To live twice before I die, to roll dice, say if I know what they know. That the show was so damn low, past blame to and fro, to all that say so. And because it passes time, they'll all cross the line, so I'm inclined to remind my mind to refine my kind, or I'll find heaven and hell intertwined. So say, Alfonso, Monzo Donzo, what'd you say we write done gun gonzo? And if I keep you joyful, maybe you'd keep me joyful. Joyful as Jolene. Let me come clean, Miss Madonna Supreme. I could do it with a whole lot more of everything. Thank you all so much.
This poem is called The Leadbreaker, and it's about an individual who is writing poetry with such fervor and intensity that he breaks the lead of his pencil. All the stars of Orion couldn't enlighten him. Draft all the drafters in the nation, he'd be editing them. I see. You heard word of a writer, a paperback writer. Ron, this here critter, we all used to call him the Leadbreaker. Oh no, I dropped my whole entire soul down the toilet bowl. I know, you know, that you know. But how though could you so when satyrs go on the low? Not that I stub my toe on God's throne, I gotta pick a bone with my very own sense of space, cause this just ain't the place to have to retrace dormant kisses, fights of races, frights on faces, rights, white laces, the wars of the ages, charlatans, sages, shamans, pages, taxes, Catholic rage is the salty tears of sweet baby Jesus. I can feel the jokes coming, the mouths are running, scorns are raining, life's amazing, considering and realizing the timing, the luck, the findings, the trust, that tilts our signings. I'm willing to bet you didn't even bother to bet. The rest and sets, you're gonna let the rent get heaven sent, so some bent, jet set, gent, and gas and bent. I regress, I guess you're just off air for Lent. So let me get it with fries as we feast our melting eyes on broken smiles, red torrent skies, building rubbish piles, declassified files that come as no surprise. Let's get it. Let's get fret, set, and restless, bugged out and reckless, fucked up and factless, laughed out and breathless, loved out and loveless. Hog-tied, well underdressed, so file the rest into depressed, into duress, chronically compassionless, politically compassless, from conservative gay sex to curved fascist complex. Should sought not the office, just on the off chance to jump social class to your corrupted Congress use the blood-bath passion lines to pay, pave, and slay their way through unmodern romance. Pain is everywhere. Forget him or her. Remember to remember. Swear to hold dear what was once feared. Ignite the stake of all your mistakes. Think that bake for breakfast steak. Digest your fate and show up fashionably late. I know, you know, that y'all know. No to woes it so that from down below I can heave my roll and upscale my soul like this goddamned bowl. All the cynicism couldn't stop him. Erase all the words in the lexicon, he'd still be saying them. I see, you heard talk of a talker, top tightrope walker. Run this here equator, sometimes they call me the Leadbreaker.
I'll do that thing that poets do where they get like honest and intimate. So my family's been really struggling a lot the last 2 years. Both my parents are real sick, and I've been taking care of the family dog. And So this poem is essentially about how I take care of my dog, but really he takes care of me. You know. Nobody knows which way the wind blows when time stands still. Writing false moments into known sonnets could make an honest man ill. The world's eyes are woven on a loom of lies, but within the tallest fallacy, hear the true truth of what once happened to Scutch My Dog, the Antigod, and me. There is a growing valley of definitions explaining the premonitions of masculinity. Long gone the Old West, new conditions. If we knew our missions, we could spare our sanity. Plunder and murder was human's bread and butter, but add in immoral husbandry, and that unholy trinity was held tight securely in the land of sinners preaching purity. Bring forth the modern day, the unholy trinity made room for masochism and promiscuity. Some men speak to say that we've lost our way. Bring back nature and fill in man's affinity. Reject femininity. Embrace the nuclear family and discover traditional sanguinity. 'Cause it's the beeping phones that make us dull drones. Now mankind hath found his virginity. All I heard when I hit the curb was Roe v. Wade, Depp v. Heard, and I'm finally over my ex. There are no girl soldiers over Kia tonight. Fight the new fight, one will always have to pay for sex. None such are the concerns of a boy and his dog. Their interests are an entirely different conquest. They must confess a walk, a dinner, and a rest. That's an excitable boy's idea of success. Now, I never claimed to be a real man, but I've done things, and those things I've seen through. I fought my fights, I spoke my truth, but at heart I know I'll be outnumbered by 2. I used to idle and leer at the pitch. Kick me the ball, I wouldn't know what to do. 'Twasn't the fear of near injury, but the clear gap between what me and my peer knew. Scutch used to hide at the side of the breakfast line for morsels of bitters. As the runt of the litter, he suffered the brunt of the cruelest of the critters. A lone farm dog in a swarm of pointers bred by one of Ireland's breeders. They clipped off his tail in gun dog training to mimic those goose hunting predators. My boy's no predator, and I no soldier, but we went walking the prom at dawn regardless. The waves crashed and the dark foam splashed over black boulders in surplus. As if by imagination, this jagged rock formation presented to me a rustic fortress. This heartless looking path led me down a wordless path of artless portraits. The wind began to cry. Lightning split the sky, and an untamed demon's voice spoke. Don't ask why or try to concide. You have pushed your words beyond common folk. And the devil appeared from an ugly nook and began to read a book hid from underneath his ragged cloak. You think you know words? Write me a rhyme better than mine, or I'll send your soul to hell in a stroke. You're bad at your job. Don't you cry for God. I'll have you forever. You've slept your last slumber. Scoff as you like, mean God. You were sold a raw fraud. I'll always welcome a new prisoner. Postulate sin or virtue, with or without curfew. On a ship of loyalty over fear, you're our sole mutineer. You reference folklore like a dyslexic keeping score. Once I incur, you'll know my name is Saint Lucifer. Well, shit, Mr. Satan. Howdy do, I hearken from my golden cider, cannabis consider dream. You serenade sweet, ahead of the beat. It's a fate to even meet you. But I can't join in on this thing. 'Cause the government done stole my phone and grey aliens got my poems and I busted up my hamstring. Let us off with a warning. Save it for the morning. The left wing, right wing, or good old-fashioned global warming. The devil downright laughed. The cold rain slashed. What a load of upright nonsense. You lose via cowardice. Now forego your life license and realize your eternal death sentence. Go, like the man you aren't. Forget your art. Go in silence, unlike how you entered in the past tense. I was truly afraid. Our bed was made. I felt the dying of my sentience and the strangling of my consciousness. But against the pistons in my mind, I saw a bright white light shine through the sky. Talk of mood swings, godly gold ribbons cast over tiny evil inklings. I swear to dog and tell no lie. Not trying to beg, Scutch sprung up on hind legs as if to decry. Go ahead, friend, give it a try. Believe or deny, I evoke no lie. My dog spoke a man's voice and said aloud as if to defy. Now this little poet bitch is mine, mister. So step it to me and find yourself a blister. So sock it to thee, 'cause I assume you fucking know me. Of mud, clovers, and Irish fog, my name is Scutch, and I'm the devil-eating dog. Now I've seen a whimper too, but I had never seen a better stealth-pimp jigaloo. We would have passed you. We never even, ever fucking asked you. You could have given us a safe path through. Now I guess I'm just gonna have to tear you, I knew, blasted through, toe hold with a cajole blowhole, enroll the devil's second new asshole. And like the faded memories of life before conception, my feelings boiled to a head, and then shattered in every direction, because that Satan-slaying Springer punched right forth and bit the neck of Lucifer with a rabid force. I barely stood in complete and utter shock as my demigod goblin dog ate the entire fuck, leaving nothing but a keyless lock to a sorry soul of was nigh not. Nobody knows which way the wind blows when time stands still. Writing false moments into known sonnets could make an honest man ill. The world's eyes are woven upon a loom of lies, but within the tallest fallacy, hear the true truth of what once happened to Scutch My Dog, the Antigod, and me. Wouldn't it have rocked if like the church bell ended right when it arrived? This is also a short one. It's called The Gods Envy the Mortal Man. Dead but free, can't you plainly see? I'm playing out a moron's fantasy. I'm on the run, it's bad but it's fun. And just who in God's name have I become? Come what may, tomorrow or today, would we ever even ever remember the meaning of life anyway? Like the green leaf in the amber eel, or the somber reef in the candor sealed. In these foreign hearts your casual arts supplanted, with local larks on lost barks, your personal marks granted. Like a secret park or a sunken ark, your heart is forever enchanted. Time moves through life like a hand-holding sound, but let me just say, the gods envy the mortal man. Thank you all. So this is called a dirty poem. Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water, but I was up the hill to catch my thrill, 'cause I was fucking the farmer's daughter. Her cunt tastes like Belgian beer, her bush thicker and wilder than my beard. I'm like Franz Kafka, if Kafka had a big dick. I'm like Frank Sinatra, without Don Rickles' shtick. You're in her DMs, but I'm giving her the ick. Your style is all pretend, but I'm this night's prick. Now I ain't that very tall at all, but that's just 'cause I'm weighed down by the weight of my balls. Slow is smooth and smooth is fast. She ignored the lube and made it crass, because before a second passed, she had shoved her fingers straight up my last attempt to last past the finger. Sensitive skin, but she ain't no stranger. Just then I begin to think I'm in sync with danger. So smash my head with a Jameson bottle, pull my hair and kick back the throttle. Back when you found me stranded before we started, you thought you'd leave empty-handed or have to go half-hearted. But you can rip out my heart and call it reflex. I'll still make the camel come in less than 12 parsecs. By morn I awoke, face down in her womanhood. Beyond porn I spoke, on behalf of the whole fucking neighborhood. 'Cause you can smell the free derriere from her sweet derriere. I'm trumped, so you can color me stumped, 'cause that pussy's gone and got me gazumped. Here's another gross one. I'd like to dedicate this one to Taylor Swift. I poured out my woes to an autistic bartender. He couldn't understand why my heart did surrender to engage in a love rift or a fake tryst with a big fat liar who likens Taylor Swift. He got me on the top shelf, jumping from bottle to bottle. I gave him enough paper to hum from model to model. Like a fool who wants to be cool, she's rubbing her way through a drought. As a rule, I'm thinking with my tool, but that dick knows what he's talking about. I spent 13 and a half hours playing pool, all because that blending bartender begged me to. I lost every single game, and each frame, point within that time remained. My fingernails were chipped from cracking open too many beers. As his pool shots ripped, it was like even the ghosts cheered. Like a shell dying on a hill, arguing with every train of thought. As you will, I'm running up the bill, but that clock knows what he's talking about. This poem is called The Meaning of Words. A man stumbled at full speed up to the microphone. Speaking over a sea of commotion, for a full second he felt all alone. He asked, "Can you take the meaning out of words?" And the lambasted ambassador took a lull and a half, deeper breath, shifted and said, "You can use them however you like. You can know them or learn them. You can say one thing and do another. You can say something but mean some other. But you cannot, no you can't, take the meaning out of words, nor the wisdom out of meaning. You can have fully transparent heroes. You can even take the piss out of someone. You can falsely paint your nemesis. You can hold what you hold dear and be the antithesis. But you cannot, no you can't, take the cowardice out of irony, nor the brevity out of wit. You can scrape miles off the journey. You can put it all on black. You can take the morals out of morality. You can take the facts out of factuality. But you cannot, no you can't, take the sense out of common wisdom, nor the rationality out of actuality. You can take the blood out of a pig. You can take the gold out of the mountains. You can take the heart out of a body. You can take the soul out of the brew. But you cannot, no you can't, take the lover out of me, nor the beauty out of you. This one's called 24, and I wrote it just before I turned 24. I turned 24 on the 24th, and that's the 24th sign I've traveled forth in time. 24 more hours down the line. I was 16 in 2016, and that's the 26th thing, the 4th, 5th day ring, through which I've been, and to which I refrain to remain within the window pane of pain. Life ain't all that bad, after all. I'm just a bumbling bumblebee in the rain. Death ain't all that sad, after all. It's just the last lost road that remains. Ma always said I was the best boy in Belfast. That was before we got the dog. Dad always had a grip held so steadfast, so we got him a handle for his hand to hog. Near enough a quarter of a century, steer none more sense to my friends, their friends, and me. 24 more for 48 score. We plead, we plead, we please. Oh my Lord. Here's a poem by Cowboys. It's called Tinseltown in the West. In the middle of the watering hole, several women standing on their toes, trying their best to fill up their lungs, breathing down the sights of thirsty guns. Trapped inside the rendezvous of choosing, a gang in captives, some are boozing, doubling down on a poker-faced bluff. They want it all, they ain't got half enough. Sheriff Antonio called out to Pablo, "Let these girls go, you coward Diablo. Not long left till the sky turns red. We all know you're nigh on out of lead. You're ugly and mean, rough to touch. I'm firm and fair in the moment of clutch. Surrender to me in this soon safe land. or face me out here like a godless man. The working girls fought over their jobs as town lacked heroes, not heart-throbs. Their yellow-bellied men filled this task, the finest spineless Tinseltown in the West. There's only fake men above Rio Bravo, with the exception of Antonio and Pablo. It's been cat and mouse for over a year, but now that it's time, they both felt the fear. I've killed men and women, a child if you count me. I'll strike you down, sheriff, no matter my bunny. Lend me that freedom and $5,000, and I might let you live, no matter your hollers. Do you really think that God's gonna save you? I couldn't save you, even if I was ever paid to. A horse wouldn't love you, with a gun to its head, but don't force me, sheriff, or I'll take you to bed. The law on the sheriff's side closed on in, but Pablo's next of kin grew once to a kin. The blood was thick, the blood was young, the song of every smoking gun was sung. Through the heaves the sheriff blazed his iron, but he got hit in his hips through his abdomen. A shot in the gut wasn't his hero's death, but he prayed a prayer's prayer with his final breath. Angel of God, my guardian dear, kill these rapists till your light gets near. Save the women and illegitimate children, pacify this town of mine before they kill them. I cast, not a whim, onto my life's destiny, but just for your best hands to get down and dirty. So round up a heavenly suicide posse, and please decimate the sons of bitches for me. The sheriff cried before he died, for Antonio's death wish shan't be denied. Oh no, 'twasn't God's wrath would show, but the Navajo that rode in heel and toe, making less noise than an insect. They circled the shithouse in an instant. A tomahawk doesn't need reloading, fought the boys as they went down folding. But it was with a steady machete that the chief's son cut Pablo like spaghetti. Pulling his beheaded head by the hair, the Navajo mocked Pablo for his life of air. Then, resurrecting to taunt the honorable, discombobulated Pablo was unconscionable. In spite of their wisdom, the natives had forgotten not to listen to the spirit of the gone rot begotten. Be you redskins, be you cattle, be you rednecks or dirty savage animals, it's all the same to me, as far as I can see. But I know why, I know your history. For your mother was one they killed, on a raid led by whose wish you've just fulfilled. Her pure blood is on the sheriff's hands, and for nothing real your family stands. What luck, a headless American talking of reality. Let's hear his thoughts on the white man's morality, said the chief's son, sparing his brevity. You know nothing of life, but one of depravity. May you become one with the trees. May you learn to run like water and grow with ease. Or you can join the sheriff down in hell, where your whiskey always tastes worse than it smells. Then he kicked his head like a football into the nearest bottle of alcohol. After healing the children of all their sores, the Navajo did go back through the saloon doors. They said little to, but sympathized through, to the women and the righteous deeds they do. Flaring over the crest of a distant mountain, the red sun beamed over the noon of Austin. For it is not the hero that you idolize, that you can understand nor empathize. Sometimes the debt of an honorable death is sending yourself out of glory within the same breath. Talk is talk, and talk is cheap. Life is life, and life is brief. But in your fate you'll really reap that your weightless feet in your deepest sleep shall fall and fleet with the way of the devil's sheep.
Yep.
This is, there was an old singer-songwriter, American guy. I'm not American, so don't worry. He was called Townes Van Zandt, and he was quoted as saying that there are only two kinds of music, the blues and Zippedy Doo-Dah. So these two poems are called The Blues and Zippedy Doo-Dah. There's blues in the mirror, there's blues at home, there's blues getting near, there's blues when I'm alone, there's blues in the sky, there's blues on the ground, there's blues inside, man, there's always blues to be found. I've had the blues. As long as I can remember, I got the blues from winter to summer. There's blues in my head, there's blues in my threads. There's blues on the men, there's blues in all the meds. There's blues in the mother, there's blues in the father. There's blues on the altars, there's blues in all our brothers. Why keep the blues from beginning to end when you can end the blues, kill them softly like a friend? There's blues from what I've done, there's blues from within me. There's blues from what I've become, there's blues that only blue eyes can see. There's blues at 9, and there's blues at 11. There's gotta be blues in hell, but I bet you there's blues in heaven. I've known about the blues since I was a wee lad. I never did beat the blues, but never did the blues beat the lad. As aforementioned, this poem is called Zippedy Doo-Dah. I can cook, clean, I can love, I can drink, gamble, I can fuck. I'm the big cheese with the small holes. I'm a success story of both gender roles. Zippedy Doo-Dah, all the doolally day. I'm talking about Zippedy Doo-Dah, all the doolally day. I know pain, strife, I know blues. I broke my heart, soul, I've nothing to lose. I'm not Robert Johnson, I'm at no crossroads. I'm hauling ass like I built the damn railroads. Zippedy Doo-Dah, all the doolally day. I'm talking about Zippedy Doo-Dah, all the doolally day. I seen girls, women, ladies of the night, who see boys, men, lads on sight. I went asking, and people would say, everybody's searching, just to be happy someday. Zippedy Doo-Dah, all the doolally day. I'm talking about Zippedy Doo-Dah, all the doolally day. I hear soulless sirens, I've heard horrors, I see devils, demons, I've seen monsters. Why do we understand? Beyond our human complex, I believe it's all real, from this world into the next. Zippedy Doo-Dah, all the doolally day. I'm talking about Zippedy fucking Doo-Dah, all the doolally day. This is a sad one, but I'll end on a better one. This is called Same Day, Different Shit, which is a play on the old different day, same shit. Shot and a miss, same day, different shit. Is it how bad are things really? Or is it how bad things really are? The desire to be good is greater than the will to do good. You can go on into life, do bigger, better, and brighter things, but this will always be a mistake that you did make. I've been working on my work, I'm tweaking, I'm going berserk. I'm in the bad ending of a good story. I wrote and did the editing, but I already know the story in Balamory. I'm the black sheep of a dark family. I'm an active member in the cult of apathy. I'm the least cool, but I've always been popular. I went to school, but my ignorance is spectacular. Things like he and she run amok and rip up revelry of pain. People like you and me go together like cigarettes and the rain. I know, without needing to peep, my mum and dad are dying as we speak. It's the I'm glad you found that funny. It's the pertinent, urgent urges of a wannabe street urchin. I'm broken, I can save, but ain't budgeting. You can have me, if you want me, anytime that you ask. Vibing out like it's a Radisson's, in a house that smells like Christmas decorations. I never felt so weak, and so strong, all at once. I'd like to give up, put in the work, get up and go to bed, because what I fear lives deep within here, in thee, us, me, the royal we. Over trees, roofs, and other things, I watch the final summer sunset upon my daydreams. Every day, all day long, I wake up singing the same silly old song. about me, about you, where it went wrong, if there ever was a back when, feel back then, when we belonged. You guys are the best. I love you guys.
This one's called 10 out of 10 on Horseback. And I'd like to dedicate it to the memory of the late comedian Norm MacDonald. Without a poker face, outnumbered by dice, my life has been about apologizing before I say thanks. I used to be a comic, idolizing Norm MacDonald. Now he's dead and I just talk in obvious rhymes like a 16-year-old. 16. At that age I would freeze, right there on the stage. And since then, I believe, I stayed frozen, but older with age. I'm frozen in time. I can't turn the page. I think you misunderstood. I'm saying feeling this bad never felt so good. I'm not dead yet. No, I got my paycheck. I'm 10 out of 10 on Horseback. I'm not alive yet. Life's not long without slack. So I'm 10 out of 10 on Horseback. Please understand, I'm saying feeling this good never felt so bad. I placed the bet, now I'm in the black. You could say I'm 10 out of 10 on Horseback. I'm not there yet, but I've got a map. Till then, I'm 10 out of 10 on Horseback. With this hand held, I'll need more than luck on the felt. But more than luck I have, I think I'm gonna play this hand I was dealt. So keep on dreaming, those silly little dreams. Don't let the bastards and the clowns take apart your only heart. May your love be boundless, may your soul be indestructible, may your body be blessed, may your kin live on. Ride the coattails of your future self, fuel the ride with your past self. Hold your present self with the light in the lights of yourself. We'll all meet further back, a little way down the track, and we'll all be 10 out of 10 on Horseback.
Three more poems to go. This poem is called Boy Victim. He was just a little boy, with gayness in his step, perhaps a little bit coy, but with the wilderness under his breath. The son of a funny man, the light of his mother's eyes, sings a star of Bethlehem till the ruthless crucifix cries. He can't believe his own kind would do this to him. Before he had a matured mind, will his life ever begin? But he loves that woman. You can bet the farm on that. But he found when they were alone, a secret darkness had traced his tracks. He's still a little boy on a lost lover's mission. He was just a little boy, boy victim. This one's called By the Skin of My Teeth. I'll keep this speech brief, chief, 'cause each and every breach has beached on the reef, and the beef that some leech has impeached this boat's reach. Calling onward relief, I think I might make it without her, by the skin of my teeth. Because I just keep thinking of how she's missing from my mission listing, and I'm wishing she's thinking of my being, but who am I kidding? I just keep reminiscing on how we could have been a serene, supreme, sane team, if you know whatever that means. I quit meditating at the best Irish funeral, and I started drinking at the worst English wedding, and I started smoking somewhere in Scotland. P.S. Ace, Mace, Prince and Pace, track and trace, but missed and misplaced, somehow erased, replaced in the race, and the taste is laced, its base in the chase. You can see it in every face. Like a needle and thread, we'll put these wobbly woes to bed. Take the red straight out of our heads, 'cause you kept the kids red, but the dogs fed, and the mad said you can tread the dredge, you can spread the message said. As the words bled through the soul shreds, you can break the breakable bread. I quit caring at the very beginning, and I started trying at the most recent inning, and I started singing when I started spinning, with the granite cracking and the insane rain lashing, a dashing, dying passion of a passing lad, a mashing, a contrasting, or lasting, super surpassing, crashing, transisting, song for singing. It's just the very last thingy thing. It's the only final time pinnacle where a minuscule minus cynical thought is critical. I can't spin you finical. So, Captain Miserable, get up there and mind the damn binnacle. Steer the horn through the storm, cause you're sworn to adorn the worn, forlorn, norm form. So mourn your scorn, let it be shorn that's in your side. Since you were born, the roaring, torn, torment, thorn will be torn. I quit reading when I started writing, and I started thinking when I started forgetting, and I quit bestowing once I stopped knowing. Give it a break, soothe the ache, awake the stick, fake the fake, take the tent, skate the leg, quake the mix, shake the tick, bake the kick, and eat it way too quick. Turn the leaf, spread the keys, eat the peach, walk the beach, preach, don't screech, teach, the or teach. Come what, whatever be it, through hell or in wreath, I think I'm gonna make it by the skin of my teeth. I really appreciate that a lot. And I also really appreciate everybody who is showing up thus far, even the people who are left who are at home, probably masturbating by now. I really appreciate it. It's really sweet. This is my first ever show. The fact there's been a turnout like this. We only have to do 2 more applauses before I'm done. This poem is called Peace in the Meadows. You're playing the hardest role, fitted and committed, the strongest soul I've ever known. But when you listen, you hear that there will be peace. Love is blind, but listen and you will find that there's peace, peace, peace. There's peace in the meadows. I'm the luckiest guy I know. I wish there was a way to repay every friend I've ever known. But when I listen, I hear that there will be peace. Listen and see. Life is fiery with its beauty. And there's peace, peace, peace. There's peace in the meadow.